Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert Raider fans packed the Art Hauser Centre again last night as the community shows its support for its team in Game 4 of the WHL final. Raider fans have been treated to a long playoff run this year and are showing their Prince Albert pride at this week's home games. Fans decked out in Raiders gear or whatever green items they can find and cheering at the top of their lungs. Some fans have been supporting the team since day one.
Since 1971. Yeah, we were the originals. Well, part of the originals, yes.
The game itself was full of drama as emotions continue to run high. Prince Albert was trying to draw even in the third period when this happened.
Right now, jam play on the line. Kelly, he scored. Well, they blew it down.
The referee lost sight of the puck in the commotion and blew the play dead. Another Raiders goal was called back less than 2 minutes later. Then, in a twist of bad luck, two Raiders players lost their balance, giving the Silvertips a sure tap-in goal to make it 4-2. An empty net goal sealed it late for Everett. The Silvertips could win their first WHL championship title on Friday night when Game 5 goes from the Art Hauser Centre. Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block says the city must be bold moving forward. She gave her annual State of the City address to members of the Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce Thursday, where she said Saskatoon is undergoing a transformation. And just like leadership of the last century, big changes like a downtown arena, bus rapid transit, and a new library can cause fear. And while these decisions are moving their way through council, she says it's natural for that fear to cause calls for a second look to reconsider.
To be bold is part of the culture of the city. We've seen it throughout the decades. We've seen it under many mayors. And I think that if we continue to lead boldly, especially in this time where we have an opportunity to capitalize in ways that I haven't seen in my lifetime.
The Chamber says its members are waiting for some of these bold plans to materialize, and it wants to see some decisive action soon. More road work is getting underway across Saskatoon, bringing traffic slowdowns and detours to some of the city's busiest routes. This was Idlewild Drive earlier today. The city of Saskatoon says overnight work is scheduled between 20th and 25th Street and between 39th and 51st Street. New water and sewer infrastructure is being installed on the Marquis Industrial Area near Silverwood Heights, causing another detour along part of Wanuskewin Road. Meanwhile, work continues on College Drive and University Bridge, with the city saying the project remains on schedule.
Currently, it is going to plan. Access to the structures and arches is complete, and the handrails and scaffolding were installed to reach the repair areas. Concrete repairs are ongoing on the upstream arch.
The bridge is expected to reopen mid-June, while construction along College Drive will continue throughout the summer. A woman charged in connection with a homicide in Saskatoon has changed her plea. 35-year-old Chantal McLaren pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact to murder. Her second charge, offering an indignity to human remains, is expected to be withdrawn at sentencing. Evidence was supposed to begin this morning, but things took a turn when McLaren changed her plea. McLaren's charges stem from the death of Lee Perkins, a 25-year-old man from Alberta. A 36-year-old man is also charged with first-degree murder, and a third accused has already pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Sentencing submissions are scheduled for September. The Ministry of Agriculture says despite a slow start, progress is being made on spring seeding. 16% of the crop is now in the ground. That's a 13% jump from last week, but still lagging behind the 5- and 10-year averages. The Southwest is furthest ahead, followed by the Southeast. Limited rainfall in the province this week allowed for more seeding progress, but dry and windy conditions are lowering the amount of water in the soil, and more areas are reporting shortages. It seems the wind is trying to insert itself into our newscast, Jeff, but the wind is blowing and something's on the way.
Yeah, it's howling in the back alley here behind our studios, but boy, oh boy, it's been a windy day across the province, and some places extreme winds. We do have some power outages to deal with in parts of eastern Saskatchewan, so it's been a nasty situation. And we can take a look at the satellite radar shot here, and not a surprise. We talked about this yesterday on our Futurecast. Well, this is the here and now, the radar and satellite shot. Big low pressure center, that counterclockwise rotation around the center of the storm. And there is a lot of rain. There's a lot of moisture in this system. So it's slow moving. So we're going to keep our eye on this, and we'll talk about what we have in store for Friday in the forecast.
Sask Power's plan to refurbish coal-fired power plants was the dominant issue once again on the final day of the spring sitting of the legislature. The Sask NDP again voicing strong opposition to the $2.6 billion capital cost of maintaining coal as the energy source. The opposition is calling for a switch to cleaner burning natural gas along with renewables. Sask Power says refurbishment of coal plants at Estevan and Coronach will act as a bridge toward nuclear baseload power generation. Some daycares in the province are reportedly running steep deficits, saying the situation will only get worse under the new $10 a day childcare deal. Virginia DeClute has the details.
An emergency meeting was held in Rocanville Wednesday night to discuss changes to the province's childcare agreement.
And so that puts a huge economic strain on families and also on the community. We are a small community, so we have lots of people that work locally. Businesses are going to feel that impact of not having employees that have childcare.
They say an inequitable funding model made worse by recent updates to the Canada-Saskatchewan Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Agreement is putting more pressure on their operations.
We're seeing centres in the past year that have posted anywhere from like $10,000 to $80,000 deficits. Ours, particularly, we posted a $60,000 loss last year.
Werner says they rely on grants, but those are disappearing.
And that's part of the problem with the system that we're running, is running off of grants all the time. Grants can go away at any time, and that's what we're seeing now with this new deal.
The government says updates to the new plan do not remove any existing revenue streams.
That the operators have been provided some guidelines as to what they can charge on an hourly basis or a maximum monthly basis, so we don't erode the affordability for the families. But at the same time, those operators that are providing extended hours of services to the parents and families that need that, they have the ability to now charge additional revenue and generate that.
Werner says the model does not work in practice.
It's the only time our fees move is when the government says that we get an increase. So typically before this agreement came into place, we would adjust our fees yearly to offset any sort of budgetary requirements that we would need, inflation, things like that. We're unable to do that now.
The Ministry of Education says the program is financially sustainable and that the government is working closely with the sector.
This is something that's being done to make sure we maintain the stability within the sector to ensure that it is viable for the long term.
Werner took her fight to the legislature on Thursday, promising to keep pushing for the ministry to roll back the changes, which come into effect on July 1st. Virginia DeClute, CTV News, Rocanville.
Saskatoon's Rémy Modern is now home to a painting by a globally celebrated artist born in Saskatchewan. This painting by Agnes Martin, titled Tranquility, is composed of faint ivory and lavender blue bands that are said to showcase her lifelong exploration of the subtlety of color and the power of abstraction. Agnes Martin was born in Macklin and spent parts of her career in New York and New Mexico. She's best known for her grid paintings that feature pencil lines and bands of color. Rémy Modern is the first museum in Western Canada to acquire a painting by Agnes Martin. Agnes Martin died in the year 2004. When we come back, a closer look at food allergies. Jasmine chats with Lyle from Parkland Ambulance for Food Allergy Awareness Month.
I'm at Parkland Ambulance with Lyle to talk about Food Allergy Awareness Month. So, food allergies, what are some of the most common ones?
Well, first of all, the most common one we often hear about is usually nuts or eggs, surprisingly. And those people who have a known allergy are usually pretty good about, if they're stopping at a store to buy something, they're going to ask what's it made of. If they're going to visit friends, they know that, or they take precautions themselves. Those are the most most common allergies, but often people discover purely by accident sometimes that they're allergic to something as well. If you develop an allergy, one is that you're going to notice a rash, itchy, maybe something like a hive, which is a little bit of a bump on the skin. If you start to notice that you're having big puffy lips and your tongue feels like it's thick and it's hard to talk, and you're having trouble swallowing or you're drooling, and most people just don't drool, then you really need to get some help quickly. If you're that person who has a known allergy, then you likely carry an EpiPen. They're really relatively easy. You can visit your pharmacist, your physician to get one prescribed to you. They come in adult and child dosages, and it's really quite simple. The commercial that goes with this is blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. They simply will pop the top off. That arms the pen, so to speak, and they'll just take the pen and just jab it to the side of their leg. It will go through a pair of jeans or coveralls, and they need to hold it for about 5 seconds. There is no sharp object afterwards, so it's perfectly safe. If you have called paramedics or you're going to the hospital emergency walk-in clinic, that sort of thing, just bring the used pen with you. They'll dispose of it safely there. If not, when you go to get a refill, give it back to your pharmacist, and again, they'll dispose of it. And they're relatively easy to obtain. Epinephrine, the drug that's in here, is a short-acting. It's not the permanent solution for that allergic reaction. So we'll use the bee sting example, Jasmine. Somebody gets bit by a bee or a wasp. They start to develop that sort of puffy lips and they start to have trouble swallowing. Maybe they're at the lake and they use their EpiPen. They still have about 30 minutes if they're going to go to a hospital. Often some people will carry an antihistamine like a Benadryl, a chlorotripolone, those types of medications, an Aleve, something like that that's an antihistamine. They'll need to take some of that as well. If you don't get better and that puffiness and the trouble swallowing and the difficulty breathing persist, then you obviously need to call paramedics wherever you are and get help, because they need some more advanced treatment and they need it quick, because it's not going to take too long if you're really a bad allergy sufferer to be in trouble.
If you've already used one EpiPen, can you use a second one at some point? How does that work?
Absolutely. Some people carry, there are devices on the market. There's a brand new device that is actually just being approved by Health Canada. I've seen just a little bit of literature. It's just like we have naloxone or a nasal spray. Well, they're making the epinephrine into a nasal spray as well. So it's a new product. I don't know whether it's released here in our Saskatchewan market or not, but it's coming about. They'll use these. The side effect of epinephrine for that person, if they've never taken it, but the doctor says, you're allergic to bees, you better hang on to this, and it's the first time it happens, they're going to feel a little bit anxious, jittery, a rapid heart rate, that sort of stuff. But epinephrine, depending on the size of the individual, their metabolism, and a few other factors, usually is enough to reverse the allergic reaction for about a 15 to 20 minute window. Sometimes if it persists, they'll take another. Often they'll take that antihistamine and that corrects the problem. Again, if you're not sure what to do, or it's something brand new, or you're not exactly sure, ask your pharmacist, ask your family physician for that advice. You can always, if you're concerned too, call 811 ahead of that allergic reaction, and the 811 folks will give you that advice as to say, okay, you can take maybe 2 or 3.
Anything else that's important to get across?
If you do get an allergic reaction to something that you've never had before, I would always encourage you to follow that up with your family physician to find out, maybe you need to be tested for further allergies. Maybe you need to get your physician to prescribe for you an EpiPen. Maybe you need to just now know, hey, I can't eat eggs, or I can't eat peanut butter anymore, those sorts of things.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me out.
Thanks.
Jeff has the weather forecast coming when we return, and an Ontario man nearing the halfway point of his epic run for cancer. Okay, Jeff, this year seems like it's kind of doing the Benjamin Button, and we're going to head back into winter temperatures starting tomorrow.
A nice cinematic analogy there. Yes, exactly. It's a cinema illusion. We've got ourselves an interesting pattern here because we are going to be talking about snow in this forecast. But there's that big bullseye of a low. We talked about this robust system moving in from Alberta, and it is slow moving. And as it makes its way through Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and obviously it lingers into other parts of the United States and Canada. But we're really feeling the effects of the rain and snow. Snow in parts of northern Alberta and Saskatchewan. Some very windy conditions down south, as I mentioned earlier on, some power outages. And it looks like this system is going to take its sweet time making its way eastward and getting out of Saskatchewan. So expect another day of rain and rain-snow mix. Taking a look at our futurecast. Well, there you go. The purple is snow, the pink is rain-snow mix, and the green is rain. And you can just see how slow that is moving. And yes, it's moving across into northern Ontario, but look at how much of an impact it's having on the backside of that low. So this is a robust system. I keep saying it, but it's awfully true. It's strong and it's powerful, and it's going to have an impact on us as we make our way into tomorrow. So tonight, most locations are expecting, particularly in eastern parts of the province, or western parts of the province, rather, Spiritwood and the Battlefords, probably another 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. 2 degrees for Spiritwood, 3 for the Battlefords, 2 in Candle Lake. Birch Hill's just cloudy and 3 degrees. Rostern, 2 degrees, 2 in Nipawin, and 3 degrees in Melfort, and likely some precipitation in some of these locations. And then as we take a look at tomorrow, yeah, a mix of conditions, and it's mixed in with some snow. Right now, it looks like the dominant feature for Spiritwood, Candle Lake, and Nipawin tomorrow is going to be snow. Not a great way to be dealing with this in Candle Lake and other lakeland resort areas. So Spiritwood, 2 degrees with snow tomorrow. A rain-snow mix for the Battlefords, and 4 snow in Candle Lake, 3, 4 for Birch Hills and Rostern, Melfort. And those 3 locations are expecting to have rain changing to snow, so it's a messy situation in that respect. And Nipawin expecting some snow and 4 degrees. What about Prince Albert? Well, tonight in Prince Albert, an area just 2 degrees with windy conditions. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain is anticipated. Wind gusts up to 50 kilometers an hour, so another windy evening in store. And then tomorrow, the wind backs off a little bit. It's not exactly calm. Winds out of the north, 20, gusting to 40. And that northerly wind, one of the reasons why we're going to be having some rain changing to snow, or vice versa. So it all depends on the timing. And 4, the daytime high tomorrow. And temperatures may be dropping throughout the evening as well. And look at these overnight temperatures Friday and Saturday into Sunday. -2 degrees. So if you've got bedding plans, I know there haven't been any frost advisories, but you might as well err on the side of caution and maybe cover up some plants. 12 degrees on Sunday, holiday Monday, 14 degrees, 17 on Tuesday, 19 on Wednesday, and 1 week from today, we've got ourselves a chance of some showers and a high of 20. So a real dip in temperatures there, well below seasonal numbers, and then slowly crawling back to seasonal next week.
Feels more like a slap in the face than a almost May-long weekend, eh, Jeff? There you go.
Yeah, I don't know if that analogy works, but you were hot for a while there.
It's pain. There's going to be pain tomorrow, that's for sure. Well, Jeff, the CEBL's newest team, the Saskatoon Mamba, have open play for another regular season.
Gordon going up top and through the contact. Nice work at the cup by Dajuan Gordon.
The Mamba hosted the Vancouver Bandits for a daytime game at SaskTel Centre. They were wearing their Aurora Kit uniforms. The team partnering with Saskatoon Public Schools to bring students to SaskTel Centre and meet some players after the game. After trailing 67-48 at halftime, the Mamba eventually dropped the season opener 124-95. Next up for Saskatoon, a trip to Winnipeg to face the Sea Bears on Friday night. An Ontario man is nearly halfway through his epic run for cancer. He's running a marathon a day as he travels to Tobermory from Stratford. Scott Miller caught up with him on the road.
Sam Simon receives a hero's welcome in Ayton as the 57-year-old runs from his home in Stratford to Tobermory in honor of his wife, who is currently fighting cancer.
My wife has terminal cancer. It's her 3rd bout of this, and she's my hero. What she goes through, this is nothing what I'm doing.
Simon left Stratford on Monday. He's ran about 113 kilometers over 3 days, not quite halfway to his 251-kilometer total that will land him and his crew in Tobermory, hopefully by Monday.
We're running up to Tobermory through the Bruce Peninsula. It's going to take us about a week, 8 days. We're doing about a marathon a day, give or take. And we're doing this to raise money for 3 wonderful organizations.
The Stratford General Hospital, Wellspring Stratford Cancer Centre, and London Health Sciences Centre Cancer Centre will be the beneficiaries of Sam's epic run for cancer, a run that is already taking a toll on his body.
The body is, I'm not going to lie to you, it's feeling it at night. So at night, when we stop, they ice up the knees, and it's my knees, and I have a blister on the one foot, but I've got a lot of guidance on how to do that. So other than the one blister on the right foot, which we're working on, and the knee's a little sore, we're doing wonderful.
Simon says the 6 months of training leading up to his epic run has certainly helped, as has his wonderful road crew, keeping him healthy and on the right track. He knows why he's doing this, which keeps him putting one foot in front of the other.
We're just keep moving, keep 1 foot at a time forward.
Simon has already raised over $24,000 to date for the 3 health organizations that have helped most with his wife's care. You can follow, learn more, and donate to Sam Simon's epic run for cancer by visiting our website. Near Ayton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
A little bit of ice on the knees and maybe some, what do they call it, like moleskin for the blisters? That would probably
well, it's certainly, that's more of a preventative thing, but there you go, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty awesome story there. Well, Jeff, this art teacher specialty is something every hockey fan can admire.
This is one way that they're going to remember me as long as they're wearing it, so I think that's huge.
Scott Sage is a teacher in Colorado, but he also designs hockey masks. Some of the masks he has designed has even been for some of his own students, which he says are his personal favorites. He says the storytelling that can be done with masks is his favorite, and many goalies like to put a personal spin on their mask designs. Jeff, the one I'm thinking of, I had a goalie, his name was Tommy Tartaglione. His middle name was Nathan, so he put TNT and a big dynamite stick on there.
That's good.
I thought that was pretty good, but definitely some creativity go on those masks.
Yeah, no, they are becoming quite the canvas over the last, I guess 50 years, because I know, Bernie Perrant back in the 70s had a little bit of a design, and of course Jerry Cheevers had the stitches, but it's a lot different now.
Yeah, they used to give them out for Happy Meals. Remember those?
No.